Hello and namaste. The sun finally came out, so maybe we were staying inside doing some stuff while the sun went away. I did a little high-low impact strength balance exercise video this morning, and now it's 4:35. I'm going to do a full mat mixed level yoga class. So anything we do can be modified. You can always put a chair nearby if it's hard for you to get on your knees. We will be getting up and down off the mat. We will be moving a little bit faster. So this will be a blend. I'll be giving modifications. So you can always mix things up. You can go deeper. You can go more gentle. Always remember to listen to your body and do what's right for you. This is your practice. If there's something you don't feel comfortable doing, or if you have any restrictions or any old injuries or any range of motion limitations, then please modify, and when in doubt, do child's pose. So let's get started. This will be a full hour. And remember, you can always come back and replay it. And I'm going to be turning either facing forward or sideways so you can see my alignment. So let's start coming towards the front of the mat. Standing up nice and tall. Start to connect with our breath. Just let those shoulders drop down. Start to release any of the tensions of the day. Noticing our alignment, looking at our feet, hip width apart, pointing forward. I'm standing mid-mat, so you guys want to stand forward. I'm doing that so you can see me. And then you want to notice your hips above the feet, shoulders above the hips, heads in alignment with the spine. We pull the chin back, tipping the chin, engaging like there's a tennis ball underneath our chin. Pull the pelvic floor up and in, pull the belly in and up, arms reaching down along our sides, reaching towards the earth. Spread those fingers, spreading them wide, and let them relax. Start to feel our roots growing into the earth. Bring the shoulders up in the ears as we breathe in. Exhale, let them drop. Keeping the chin tucked. These are bandhas that we engage with. The pelvic floor lock, pulling it up and in. We're starting to build this energy within our bodies. In the abdominal lock, pull the belly in and up, and in that throat lock. It also helps to keep our spine in alignment, helps to protect our back, our vertebrae. So at times I'll be saying, engaging the pelvic floor, engaging the core. That's what I'm referring to. So let's close our eyes as we breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. So if we've been rushing around the house, running up and down steps, we might have that. Or maybe watching the news and we're feeling a little anxious. We might have that shallow breath. So let's start to let it go, deepen it. Notice where the breath is at. In through the nose and out through the nose. Feel those roots growing deeper into the earth and expanding, flowing to each one of us here, each one of us in our homes, to Mother Earth, through the planet, through the waters, the trees, the animals, each one of us, the birds and the bees, connecting and unifying, all of us as one. Start to deepen that breath as we expand, open up through the belly and the rib cage and the heart space. And on the exhale, let the chest deflate, ribs close, belly deflates as the pelvic floor rises. And feel cord at the crown of our head, pulling us up into the heavens, feeling this lengthening and this aligning. And start to feel that breath flow up through the root systems, up through our legs, up through our hips, up through our spine, up to the crown of our head, pulling us up into the heavens. And on the exhale, remember to keep the eyes closed as we tune within. Feeling this flow, this breath, this life force, energy flow down through us. Start to empty our minds, clear our thoughts, relax our jaw, relax our shoulders. Feel like the weight of the world is melting away. Anything we've been carrying around, any fears, any stressors, supporting others, we're still there for them. This is our sanctuary and our hour to let go. And just flowing back down through our hips, lower back, through our joints, our knees, our ankles, our elbows, our wrists. And releasing through the fingers and through the bottoms of the feet and out through the toes. Back down into the earth. Let's bring our palms together, hands to heart center. Feeling our thumbs connecting with our heart space. Pressing the shoulders down. Engaging with the back of the throat, the Ujjayi breath. So it has that ocean sound to it. So we breathe in and out through the back of our throat and in and out through the nose. It goes from deeper within as we expand open through the belly and the rib cage and the heart space and the back of the throat. On the exhale, keeping the shoulders relaxed as we let the chest deflate, ribs close, belly deflates. As the pelvic floor rises. In through the nose. See if you can go a little deeper and longer. If you're feeling sluggish, you want to energize your systems, you can breathe in a little bit longer as that inhale helps to nourish and energize. And on the exhale, gently feel any tension you're holding on to release. If you're feeling a little tense, a little stressed, a little rushed, let the exhale be longer. In through the nose. Feel that deeper opening out through the nose. So we breathe in and out together as one, as love, as joy and peace and harmony and balance. Remember to receive as you give. Do two more. This 3-part breath. And any tension that's still holding on, gently let it release. And the exhale. And gently opening the eyes, keeping the chin tucked. Sweeping the arms up to the sky. Reaching up. Interlocking the fingers. Index fingers pointing up. One thumb over the other. Folding over to the right. Coming back to center. Reach up, lengthen. Folding over to the left. So I'm going to switch and call the way you're going to see it. Sweeping up. And then sweeping those arms down. Nice and slow. Like we're letting go of those weights. Arms reaching down along the sides. Rolling the shoulders up and around and down. And up and around and down. And up and around and down. Sweeping the right arm up. Reach up and sweep that left arm down. Reach in opposite directions as we breathe in. On the exhale, folding over to the left. Reaching towards that left knee. Turn the palm away, so sweep that right arm up and back down. Nice and slow. Sweep the left arm up. Reach apart in opposite directions. Reaching the fingers up and down as we breathe in. On the exhale, folding over to the right as we reach towards that right knee. Turn the palm away, sweep the right arm down. Reach behind. Reaching for that right wrist, open up through the chest. As we breathe in, if it's hard for you to reach behind, you can just bring the fist to the lower back. Reach for that wrist. Opening up through the chest, bringing the shoulder blades together. As we breathe in, and gently let them release. Now reaching for that left wrist, open up through the chest as we breathe in. We'll be lifting the arms up behind, pulling the shoulder blades together. And exhale, gently release. Palms facing forward, feet hip width apart. Sweeping the arms up and back. Pressing the hips forward, exhaling, leading with the chest coming halfway. Lengthen the spine, hands to our thighs. No pressure on the knees. Receive a breath on the exhale, come down a little bit deeper, maybe towards the shins. Lower the hips, hands on our thighs, open up to the chest as we breathe in, gaze out in front. So I'm turning sideways. You guys want to stay forward so you can see me. Exhale, round and roll up, tucking the chin, one vertebrae at a time. Let the chin be the last thing to lift, sweeping the arms up, palms together. and hands to heart center. Pressing the shoulders down. Sweeping the arms up and back, pressing the hips forward, exhaling, leading with the chest a little bit deeper, maybe to your shins this time, lengthen the spine. Now exhale as you come down a little bit deeper. You can slightly bend the knees if you need to. Grab our opposite elbow with our opposite hand. I'm going to do a little lower back releaser. Just hang here, and if it feels right, you can slowly start to sway back and forth from right to left and back and forth like an elephant swaying its trunk. And come here now. Let's lower the hips. Let our torso rest on our thighs. As you see, the knees stay behind the toes. Still holding that opposite elbow with the opposite hand. Spine is long. Receive a breath into that lower back. And the hips on the exhale, feel the hips gently releasing. Feel the small of the back opening up. Breathing in through that middle back and the ribs. And on the exhale, letting the rib cage gently open. Upper back and shoulders, anything we're still holding on to, breathe into it. As we support ourselves, we're supported by Mother Earth and each other. Gently let it release. Let the shoulders relax. Bring the hands to the thighs, open up to the chest as we breathe in. Exhale, round and roll up, tucking the chin one vertebrae at a time. Sweeping the arms up, palms together. We're going to sink down into chair pose. So we sink in the chair pose, feet hip width apart. We sink down in that chair, knees behind the toes, spine is long. We don't want a big arch and we don't want to be tucking under. So nice long spine. Core is engaged, pull the pelvic floor up and in, shoulders pressing down. Building that fire in between our legs. Feeling that energy building. Feel ourselves vaulted into the earth. Palms together. Receive a breath on the exhale, release. Sweep the arms up. Turn the palms away as we sweep the arms down. So you guys will be towards the front of your mat. If you're not there, I'm going to come towards the front of the mat sideways. We're going to come into some sun salutations. Again, if you want some blocks, put them by the front of your mat. And I'll show with and without the blocks. Feet hip width apart, palms facing in, sweeping the arms up and back, press the hips forward, exhaling, leading with the chest, sweep the arms down, gentle fold. Coming up halfway, lengthen the spine. Exhale as we come back down a little bit deeper, lift the chest. Let's bring the right leg back into a runner's lunge. Watch that front knee and drop to that right knee. Open up to the chest as we breathe in. Feel that, see that leg, feel that leg behind us lengthening. As we shift forward, if the knee is behind the toes or in front of the toes, you want to bring your hand behind your calf and then walk it forward. Open up to the chest as we breathe in. And then bring that hips, shift the hips back as we extend the left leg, pointing the toes up. Keeping the spine long, feeling that stretch on the back of that left leg. Coming forward as we breathe in, opening up through the chest, gaze out in front. Bring that left knee back to meet the right in the tabletop. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. We're going to pull the belly into the spine. This is a stabilization pose. You have a nice flat back, so nothing sliding off the back. If it bothers your wrist, you can come onto your fists with your thumbs pointing forward. Receiving a breath. And exhale, round and arch in a cat, tucking the chin. And back in the tabletop. And back in the child's pose. Bring those feet together, sink the hips back over the heels, extend the arms out in front. The child's pose, your knees can be wider or narrower depending if you have any tension. The wider you open them, the more you're opening those hips. Let our torso come towards the mat, reaching out in front. Receiving a breath. And on the exhale, let's flip our toes and raise our hips into down dog. Bring the hips up to the sky, releasing through the fingers. Relaxing the shoulders. So your heels do not need to come the whole way down. You do want that nice line from your hips the whole way down through your spine, through your arms, through your fingertips. Now, if it's hard to do that, try lifting the heels, bending the knees, bringing those hips up a little bit higher. We are not coming forward like this. Then you feel that pressure in the base of the palms. Lift the chest. Let's walk ourselves forward to the front of the mat. And then, lowering the hips, hands on our thighs, open up to the chest as we breathe in. Exhale, round and roll up, tucking the chin one vertebrae at a time. Sweeping your arms up, palms together, hands to heart center. Now I'm going to do the other side, facing you. Sweeping the arms up and back, pressing the hips forward, exhaling, leading with the chest. Sweep the arms down, gentle fold. Lifting the chest, bring the left leg back into a runner's lunge. Watch that front knee and drop to that left knee. Again, shifting forward. You can use the blocks if you like. Feel that right leg, left leg behind us. Open up to the chest on the exhale. Walking back. You can also come onto your fists. Lifting the toes of that right leg. Feeling the stretch down the back of that right leg. And then breathing in as we come forward, opening up through the chest. Now bring that right knee back to meet the left. I usually call opposites, so I might be messing that up a little bit. Coming back into tabletop. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Pull the belly into the spine. As we breathe in, exhale, round and roll up. Or not roll up, we're going to round into cat pose. So we're creating that arch, tucking the chin. Coming back into tabletop, feet together, knees apart. Bring the hips back over the heels. Extend the arms out in front into child's pose. Let's stay here for a breath. And on the exhale, shifting the hips over to the left. And coming back to center as we breathe in. And shifting the hips over to the right, pressing away from that left thigh. And coming back to center. Flip our toes, raise our hips into down dog. Bring the hips up to the sky, releasing through the fingers, relaxing the shoulders. Lifting the heels, bending the knees. We're going to walk the dog. So we alternate, we turn sideways, pedaling our feet. Lowering the right heel, and the left, and the right, and the left. Remember to release through your fingertips, and the left, and the right, and the left. Come up on both sets of toes, lifting the heels. Receive a breath. And then walk ourselves back to the back of the mat. Slowly rolling up, tucking the chin, one vertebrae at a time. Sweeping the arms up, palms together. Hands to heart center. Sweeping your arms up and back, press the hips forward, exhaling with the chest as we sweep the arms down. Let's walk ourselves out into a plank. Holding this here, core is engaged. You can drop to your knees. If you drop to your knees, you do not want to lift your hips. You want to bring them forward. Don't arch the back. Keep the core engaged. Hands by the breast line, elbows in. Receive a breath. Exhale as we come down into chaturanga in a hover. And down to the mat. Elbows in, press forward, push up into cobra. Back into child's pose. Feet together, knees apart. Bring the hips back over the heels. Extend the arms out in front. And let's flip our toes. Raise our hips into down dog. Bringing the hips up to the sky. Releasing through the fingers. Relax the shoulders. Bring the right leg up behind. Three-legged down dog. And on the exhale, bring it up either in one step or drop to the left knee and then walk it forward. Keep the knee behind the toes. We're going to stay here. You can stay on that left knee or you can curl the toes under and lift it. Left hand underneath the shoulder on a block or on the mat. Right arm along the side, sweep it up to the sky or wherever you can reach into spinal twist. Don't bring it any further back, and if it doesn't go the whole way up, don't force it. Looking up that arm as we breathe in. On the exhale, sweeping that arm down. And let's engage the core. Bring that left leg in to meet the right. Hands on our thighs, open up to the chest as we breathe in. Exhale, round and roll up, tucking the chin, one vertebrae at a time. Sweeping your arms up, palms together, sinking down into chair pose. Shoulders pressing down. Core is engaged. Pull that pelvic floor up and in. Again, knees behind the toes. Receive a breath. And on the exhale, I'm going to sweep those arms up and back, pressing the hips forward. Exhale as we sweep those arms down. Again, a couple more. Sweeping your arms up and back, press the hips forward. Exhaling, leading with the chest. Sweep the arms down, gentle fold. Coming up halfway, lengthen the spine as we breathe in. Exhale as we come back down, lift the chest. Bring the right leg back into a runner's lunge. Watch that front knee, bring the left leg back to meet it. Into plank. And this time, let's drop to the knees. So we drop to the knees. Keep the hips in alignment. And on the exhale, come down into chaturanga and hover, elbows against the ribs, and down to the mat. Keep the elbows in, press forward, push up into cobra. Flip the toes, raise the hips into down dog, bring the hips up to the sky, releasing through the fingers, relaxing the shoulders. And let's bend those knees again. Bringing the knees in, bringing the heels up. With the chest, walking ourselves forward to the front of the mat. It's an easier way to get in and out. Hands on our thighs, open up to the chest as we breathe in. Exhale, round and roll up, tucking the chin, one vertebrae at a time, sweeping your arms up, palms together, hands to heart center. This time I'm going to turn towards the other side. Sweeping the arms up and back, pressing the hips forward, exhaling, leading with the chest, sweep the arms down, gentle fold. Coming up halfway, lengthen the spine. Exhale as we come back down a little bit deeper. Lift the chest. Bring the left leg back into a runner's lunge. Bring the right leg back to meet it in the plank. This time you can do the full plank. You always have that option to come onto your fists, with your thumbs pointing forward, or on to your knees. Hold this here, receive a breath. And then exhale as we come down into chaturanga, in a hover. And down to the mat. Let's come onto our forearms this time. Sphinx pose. Elbows underneath the shoulders. Pressing through the palms, pressing the pelvis down, lifting the chest. Receive a breath. And on the exhale, keeping the elbows bent, extend the arms out a little bit. Reaching through those fingertips. So without moving, we're going to shift our weight forward through the fingers in the upper body and back to the toes in the lower body as we open up the midsection, breathing in. And on the exhale, we're going to tuck everything. As we tuck our chin, we're going to pull everything back to center. So we're shifting our weight back towards the center of the mat. Looking back towards our chest or the mat. And come back to center. Bring the elbows back underneath the shoulders, pressing through the palms, gaze out in front. Hands underneath the shoulders, elbows against the ribs. Let's press up into cobra. Back into child's pose. Feet together, knees apart. Bring the hips back over the heels. Extend the arms out in front, back. Let everything release. We do a little shoulder stretch while we're here. Bring the right arm in, turn the palm up, extend it through underneath that left armpit with your hidden gaze. Looking underneath that arm towards that open palm as we breathe in. And on the exhale, start to feel that release, that tension you're holding on to. Pull that left hand into a fist. Right hand into a fist as we breathe in. On the exhale, fling it open and let it release. Extend that right arm out in front. And let's flip the toes, raise the hips into down dog. Bring the hips up to the sky, releasing through the fingers, relax the shoulders. Let's bring those heels up again, bending the knees. We're going to walk the dog again. This time, lowering the left heel and the right, alternating, and the left, and the right, and the left, and the right. Come up on both sets of toes, heels lifted. And then lower the heels as we bring the hips up, walking back to the back of the mat. Lower the hips, hands on our thighs, open up to the chest as we breathe in. Exhale, round and roll up, tucking the chin, one vertebrae at a time, sweeping the arms up, palms together. Back down into chair pose. Shoulders pressing down. Feel ourselves bolted in. And let's just shift our weight over to that right leg. As we do that, in child's pose, or in a chair pose, you're going to lift that left heel. So feel everything in this right leg. Knee behind the toes. And then back to center. Receiving a breath. Shifting our weight over to that left leg. And then lifting that right heel. Pressing that right heel back down. Stay here in child's pose. Chair pose. Another breath in. Extending the arms. So you can extend up a little higher. Shoulders are relaxed. Building that fire in our legs. Receive a breath and then release. Sweep the arms up and back. Press the hips forward. Exhaling. Leading with the chest. Sweep the arms down. Walking ourselves back out into a plank. Holding this here. Drop to the knees. Come back into tabletop. We do that shoulder stretch on the other side. This time, bringing that left arm in. Turn the palm up. Extend it through underneath that right arm. Right elbow. It's bent 90 degrees. Hips are in the air this time. Receive a breath. Pull that left hand into a fist. Left hand into a fist. Letting everything come into that fist, all that tension. Breathe into it on the exhale. Fling it open. Let it release. Let it relax. Bring that left arm back in. Back into tabletop. Stay here. Pull the belly into the spine. On the exhale, round and arch in a cat. Come back into tabletop. Flip the toes, raise the hips into down dog. Bring the hips up to the sky, release through the fingers. Lift the chest, and we're going to bring that left leg up behind. Left three-legged down dog. On the exhale, you can bring it up in one step if you can do that safely with the knee, or you can drop to your right knee and walk it forward. Now we're going to shift forward. So you can stay here with the knee down, or you can lift that back knee. Make sure this knee is above the ankle. Right hand on the mat, left hand can be on the block or on the mat. Sweeping that arm up to the sky, front with your head and gaze. Looking up into a spinal twist. Reach up as we breathe in. Exhale as we sweep that arm back down. Lift the chest. We're going to bring that right leg in part way. We're going to transition into a warrior one. Back foot's angled to the side and the front. Heels in alignment. Keep that front knee bent. Use that thigh to walk ourselves up. And then bring our hands to our lower back gently. Pivot the hips forward. That right hip comes out to the side. Pivot it forward. You're going to feel all four corners of your feet connecting. Back pinky toes pressing down. So I'm going to turn to the side. Stay right where you are. Shifting forward. Open up to the chest. As we breathe in, sweep the arms up and let the shoulders relax. As we sink the shoulders down, opening up the heart. Keep the hips forward. Bring the hands to heart center. Feel ourselves firmly grounded. All four corners connected. Sweeping the arms up. If it feels right, you could create a little arch. If that's too much, then don't arch. And bring the palms back together, hands to heart center. We're going to open up into a warrior two. Receive a breath. Pivot that back foot or right foot to the side. Extending arms. First looking towards that right wall. Right arm behind, left arm out in front. Receive a breath, and now look over that front arm. Reaching through those fingers. Feel a nice line from one middle finger to the other. Front knee stays bent behind the toes. Press through that back heel. Feel those hips opening up against the wall. Keep the shoulders above the hips. Receive a breath. Reach forward. So we're hinging, bringing that right hip up, reaching out in front. Come back to center as we breathe in. And on the exhale, sweep the back arm down the back of the leg, front arm up and over like a C, creating that arch. Reach up as we breathe in. Bring that right hand to the thigh and sweep left hand to the thigh. Sweep that right arm up the wall and reach up to the sky. Look up that arm as we breathe in. And on the exhale, one time, scoop that arm down to that inner thigh, front with your head and gaze. Breathe in as we sweep it up against the wall. Reach up as we breathe in. Exhale, sweep it down the back of the leg. Keep the front knee bent. So we bring that left arm up and over. Looking up towards the sky as we breathe in on the exhale. Looking and reaching down towards that right knee. Sweeping that left arm up. Bring that right hand or forearm onto the thigh. Sweep the back arm up the wall. Reaching up. Hips in alignment underneath the shoulder. Look up that arm as we breathe in. On the exhale, scoop it down underneath the leg. Front with your head and gaze. Breathe in as we sweep it up against the wall. Exhale, scoop it down and under. Breathe in as we sweep it up against the wall. Exhale, scoop it down and under. Sweep it up and come back down the back of the leg, front arm up and over. Bring that right arm across the lower back, left hand to the back of the head. Open up through the chest and then gently pivot the upper body towards your front as you bring that left elbow out to the left side, creating tiny little circles, 3 times one way as we breathe in. 3 times the other way. Let's open back up into warrior two, relaxing the shoulders, maybe opening those hips a little bit deeper and reach through those fingertips. Receiving a breath. Now we're going to straighten the front leg, bring your left hand to the thigh, bring that right arm up, reach up, triangle pose. So imagine that wall behind, feel yourself aligning, breathe in, and then no pressure on the knee, look down, just slide that left hand down the thigh. So there's a triangle between our legs. Receiving a breath. Now let's shift forward again into that warrior two. Extending the arms front and back, looking over that front arm. Receive a breath. And on the exhale, bring that left hand or forearm onto the thigh. Sweep that back arm up one more time. Reach up, lengthen. And on the exhale, extend the arm up past our ear. So right arm and leg is in one diagonal line. Reach for those fingers. Rotate that right hand 3 times one way. 3 times the other way. Reach through those fingers as we breathe in for that stretch to the right side. And on the exhale, we're going to windmill, pivot everything back down to the mat, into that lunge. Remember, you guys are facing forward. Bring that right leg back. Watch that front knee. Drop to the right knee. We're going to walk ourselves up onto that left thigh. Little hip flexor stretch. You can also do this standing if it bothers your knees. Bring your fist to your lower back. Gently press the hips forward. Bring the elbows back. Open up to the chest as we breathe in. And on the exhale, sweep the arms up into sunbird. Relax the shoulders, pulling that sunshine down. Press the hips forward. Chest is open. Bring the arms behind the back and lock the fingers. Open up to the chest. On the exhale, coming forward. Onto that left thigh as we bring the arms up behind us. you want to add a little balance, you can curl the back toes under. You can either bring the hands to the mat or to your blocks, or you can curl the back toes under, lift that knee, and then bring yourselves back up. Engage the core, bring that right foot to meet the left, or bring it forward with your hands on the mat. Hands to the thighs, open up to the chest as we breathe in. Exhale, round and roll up, tucking the chin one vertebrae at a time. Sweeping your arms up, palms together, hands to heart center. This time I'm going to be facing you. Shoulders sinking down. Sweep the arms up and back. Press the hips forward. Exhaling, leading with the chest. Sweep the arms down. Gentle fold. Lift the chest. Bring the right leg back into a runner's lunge. And bring the left leg back to meet it in a plank. Engage the core. Receive a breath. Exhale, come down in a chaturanga, in a hover. Elbows against the ribs. And down to the mat. Keep the elbows in. Pressing forward, pushing up into cobra. Exhale, back into child's pose. Feet together, knees apart, hips back over the heels. Extend the arms out in front. Let everything release. Let's stay here and come forward again in a tabletop. Before we do warriors on the other side, we're going to do a little half crescent moon. So I'm going to do this with some balance. First one I'll do facing you. That right leg, right lower leg comes out at a slight angle. Keep that right hand, fingers pointing forward in alignment with the knee. And we're going to open up. We're going to extend that left leg like there's a wall behind us and bring that left arm up to the sky. So the arms are in one straight line. That left foot is pointing forward. Left leg's extended. Hips are stacked. So left foot, right knee, right hand are on one straight line. Receiving a breath. And then on the exhale, let's bring that left arm back down. Coming back into tabletop. I'm going to do the other side. I'm going to turn sideways for this. I'll make sure facing you. So that left lower leg is going to come out to the side. Left hand underneath the shoulder. We're going to open up, extend that right leg. Bring that right arm up, straight up from the shoulder, against the wall, hips in alignment. Right foot forward in alignment with that left knee and that left hand pointing out in front. Receiving a breath. And on the exhale, bringing everything back to the mat. Coming back in a tabletop. Remember that stabilization. Now we can do a little cat and cow. Cow, if you have any lower back issues, may not be the best thing. You want to come into a flat back. When we come into cow, we let the belly sag, lifting the chest and tailbone, lifting the chin. Then exhale, round and arch in a cat, tucking the chin, pressing away. Breathing in as we open up in a cow. Exhale, round and arch in a cat. Breathing in as we open up in a cow or flat back. Exhale, round and arch in a cat. Coming back in a tabletop. This time, let's flip our toes. Raise our hips in a down dog. Bring the hips up to the sky. Release the fingers, relax the shoulders. And let's bring that right foot forward. So we can either drop to that left knee and walk it forward, or we can bring it forward in one step. And we're going to bring that right foot forward to meet it into fold. Slowly rolling up, tucking the chin, one vertebrae at a time. Sweeping the arms up, palms together, hands to heart center. Sweep the arms up and back. Press the hips forward, exhaling, leading with the chest. Sweep the arms down. Gentle fold, coming up halfway. Lengthen the spine as we breathe in. Exhale as we come back down. Lift the chest this time. Bring the left leg back part way, because we're going to transition into warrior one again. So the heels are in alignment, back foot's angled to the side and the front. The left leg is back and the right foot is forward. Start to walk ourselves up onto that right thigh. Adjust your legs if you need to. And then gently pivot that left hip forward. If you feel like your legs are too far apart, allow yourself that time to adjust. We're going to stay here. We breathe into it. And we really feel ourselves anchoring into the earth. All four corners of our feet connected. Back pinky toe pressing down. Shoulders relaxed when you're ready. Sweep the arms up. And let the shoulders relax. Slight rotation of the arms. Feel ourselves connected. Remember to smile. Another breath in. Now bring the palms together, hands to heart center. Sinking the shoulders down, opening up. Sweep the arms up. If it feels right, you can create a little arch. If that's too much, please don't arch. Receiving a breath and then come back to center. We're going to open up into warrior two. Receive a breath. We're going to pivot that Back foot, that left foot to the back, to the left side. Keep that front foot forward, first looking towards that left wall. Extend the arms front and back. Feel those hips opening up against the wall. Shoulders relaxed. Receive a breath and turn your head and look out towards and over that front arm. Reaching through those fingers. Feel those hips opening up against the wall. So my front knee is bent behind the toes. Receive a breath. Bring that right hand to the thighs. We sweep that left arm up the wall. Reach up as we breathe in. Straight up from the shoulder on the exhale. One time, we're going to sweep that arm down to that inner thigh. Follow it with your head and gaze. Breathe in as we sweep it up against the wall. On the exhale, sweep it down the back of the leg. Sweep the front arm up and over. Keep that front knee bent. Opening up the heart. Reach up as we breathe in. Bring that right hand or forearm onto the thigh and sweep that back arm up. Reach up to the sky. Allow yourself to adjust. If the hip is behind and the arm's out in front, there's no hole in the wall. We want to bring everything back to center. Aligned. Look up that arm as we breathe in. On the exhale, a couple times, we're going to sweep it down. That inner thigh. Follow with your head and gaze. Breathe in as we sweep it up against the wall. Exhale as we scoop it down and under. Breathe in, sweep it up against the wall. And exhale as we scoop it down and under. One more time. Sweep it up against the wall. And down the back of the leg. Sweep that front arm up and over. Bring the left arm across the lower back. Right hand to the back of the head. Open up through the chest as we breathe in. Now we're just gently going to turn that upper body towards the front. Right elbows out to the side, creating tiny little circles with this right elbow. 3 times one way. And 3 times the other way. Opening up into warrior 2. Relax those shoulders. Look over that front arm. Feel a nice line from one middle finger to the other. So we're going to shift forward again. So you want that stabilization. Shoulders stay above the hips. We do not shift forward through the knee. Okay, receive a breath from the hip and the waist, reaching out in front. Coming back to center. Now straighten that front leg. Bring that right hand to the thigh. Sweep that back arm up. That triangle. Both legs are straight. No pressure on the knee. Look up that arm as we breathe in. On the exhale, again, we're against the wall. We can slide down. No pressure on the knee. That right thigh. Opening up a little bit deeper. Receiving a breath. Looking up that arm, straight up from the shoulder. And then looking down towards that thigh. Let's shift forward through that front knee as we open back up into warrior 2. Relax the shoulders. Now bring that right hand or forearm onto the thigh. Sweep the back arm up. Reach up. And then on the exhale, extend it out past our ear. Left arm and leg in one diagonal line. Reach through those fingers. You can't see my hand. I'm rotating it 3 times one way. 3 times the other way. Reach those fingers as we breathe in for that stretch, that left side. Now on the exhale, we're going to pivot and windmill everything back down to the mat. Drop to that left knee. Watch that front knee. We're going to walk ourselves up onto that thigh. So hip flexor stretch is also a little stabilization. You might feel a little wobbly. That's normal. And our hip flexors get really tight, especially if we've been sitting around a lot, watching TV or Netflix or reading. Bring our fists to our lower back. Gently press the hips forward a little bit more as we bring those elbows back. Core is engaged. Sweep the arms up. Shoulders relaxed. Sink them down. Sunbird. We just pulled that light down. Connecting it with the light within. Open up through the heart. Receive a breath. Sweep the arms down behind. Interlock the fingers. Open up through the chest as we breathe in. On the exhale, coming forward onto that right thigh. Bring the arms up behind us. And again, we can add that little balance. We can either bring the hands to the mat, or we can keep them up behind, curl the back toes under, lift that back knee. And engage the core as we bring it forward. Bring the hands to the thighs. Open up through the chest. Exhale, round and roll up, tucking the chin one vertebrae at a time. Sweep the arms up, palms together, sinking back down into chair pose. Going to add a little balance here. Add a little bit more balance. So first, chair pose. Remember, pull the pelvic floor up and in. Everything's engaged. Feet, 4 corners connected and bolted in. Shift our weight over to that right leg again. This time, we can either come up on those toes, or we can bring that left knee up. Rotate that left foot 3 times one way, 3 times the other way. If you want to go a little deeper, bring that leg across, and you can come into a seated chair. One-legged seated chair. Remember when we drop down, the knee stays behind the toes and the hips sink down. Receiving a breath a little bit deeper. You can also come to a wall. And then slowly come back up. This one I'm going to turn sideways. So, sink back down in the chair. Core is engaged, pelvic floor is engaged. Shift our weight over to that left leg. Lift that right heel. This may be all you want to do. Or lift that right knee. Keep your gaze on something not moving out in front. So sometimes watching me, I'm a little wobbly. Not the right thing. 3 times one way with that right ankle. 3 times the other way. And I'm going to come, I have 2 mats there. I'm going to come back to the 1. You can get a little, if you're used to a flat floor, like I have a carpet here underneath 2 mats, it can be a little bit much. Now bring that right leg across. So when we sink down, the hips come behind, the knee stays above the toes, above the ankle. Keep the spine long and the chest open. Receiving a breath. And on the exhale, gently coming back up. I can't look towards you guys or I will fall over. And back to center. Alright, I'm going to come back to the front of the mat. Remember, at any time you feel you need water, please get some water. So we're going to come down to the mat now. So, again, palms together, sweeping your arms up and back, pressing the hips forward, exhaling, leading with the chest, sweep the arms down, gentle fold. Let's just hang here, let everything release. So from here, 2 options. Open up to the chest. You can come down into sun salutation to seated, or let's slowly roll back up. We can do a squat and come down that way. So you're going to do a squat, shoulders above the hips, feet a little bit wider than the hips, feet angled to the side and the front. Receive a breath. If you have any knee issues, please come down, however is safe for you. Slowly start to come down. The wider the legs, the easier to come down. And then you can either come into garland pose. If you cannot do the squat, you can come onto your toes. Or if you are here, palms together, hands to heart center, and your arms are on the inside of your thighs. Receiving a breath. If you want to open up, gently press them open. And then on the exhale, let them release. If you fall, you're not far. You just come down. So we're just going to come down to the mat. And let's extend the legs out in front. And if you have blocks, you can keep them by your side. We're going to sit up nice and tall. I'm going to turn sideways at first. We're just going to pedal our feet. So, shoulders above the hips. Legs together. Pulling the toes back. And then, right foot forward, and the left. And the right, and the left, and the right, and the left. Actually, I'm going to stay sideways so you can see, because we're going to work our way down into fish pose. So, keep the legs engaged, pulling the toes back, sit up tall, and first we can just bring our fists behind us. We can also have a block too. So, fists behind, first before the palms, because we're working our way into it. We're going to press those hips forward, keep the legs engaged, open the chest, bring the shoulder blades together. Receive a breath. If you can go a little deeper, press the palms. Keep those legs engaged, pulling the toes back. Receiving a breath, and shift forward a little bit more. If you can go a little deeper, you want to bring the fists to the lower back, bring the elbows underneath the shoulders. Keep the legs engaged, pulling the toes back, open up through the chest. As we breathe in, do not drop the head the whole way back. Just looking up towards the sky. Now we can go a little deeper with this, receiving a breath. And if it feels right, remember you can go at your own pace. Elbows out. So now, if you have any neck issues, I would suggest not doing this. Keep the support for the lower back. Now the top of the head is on the mat, so you're gently looking back. Keep those legs engaged, pulling the toes back. This is good for sinuses, thyroid. If you want to add the fin, make sure those legs stay engaged, and then bring the palms together, hands to heart center, pointing that fin up towards the sky. Keep everything engaged as we breathe in. Bring those fists to the lower back, bring those elbows out. Another breath in. We're going to start to bring those elbows back behind us. Now bring that chin up. Start to walk ourselves back up. Palms, fists, open up to the chest. Now let the feet relax, interlock the fingers. We're going to come forward to release that lower back. To a seated fold, and then rolling back up. All right. So we can grab a block or two. So we're going to bring the right bottom of the right foot to the inside of that left leg. Right knee out to the side. If your leg is way up here, you can use the block to support it. You can also bring another block to the front of that left foot. So here we don't want to say, this is any further we're going and look there. Let yourself open up to the length. Right arm across the lower back. Sit up nice and tall. Sweep that left arm up. Reach up. Breathe in. Lift and lengthen. Without looking towards your leg, reach that left arm out. Now see where it's gone. Maybe it's the shin. Maybe it's the ankle. Maybe it's the toes. If you've gone a little further, maybe you have the block, you can pull it into the bottom of the foot. Lengthen the spine as we breathe in. And on the exhale, coming a little bit deeper. Another breath in as we lengthen. And exhale a little bit deeper yet. Feel that lower back releasing, hips opening. Now bring the hand to the inside of that left leg or foot. Receive a breath on the exhale. This time, turn your head to the right. As you lower, bring that left ear to that left knee. Looking towards that right wall. Maybe walking the fingers of that right hand to the outside of that left hip. That left knee can bend, that's okay. Another breath in, gaze out in front. Reaching the arms out in front. And then exhale as we round and roll up, tucking the chin one vertebrae at a time. The chin be the last thing to lift. And let's extend that right leg, do the other side. I'm going to turn to the side. So this time you can put a block in the bottom of that right foot, bring that left knee in, open that knee out to the side. If you need a block under there, put it under. Sit up nice and tall. Shoulders above the hips. Left arm across the lower back. Sweep the right arm up. Reach up, lift, and lengthen. On the exhale, keep the spine long, gaze out in front, and then reach forward. Feel that opening. It could be the shin, the ankle, the toes, or maybe that block, pulling it into the bottom of the foot. Lengthen the spine as we breathe in. And exhale as we come a little bit deeper. Going at your own pace, always. Another breath in as we lengthen. Exhale a little bit deeper yet. Remember to use that Ujjayi, back of the throat, ocean breathing. Now bring your hand to the inside of that right foot. Lengthen the spine. And on the exhale, start to come forward. Turn your head to the left. Bring that right ear towards that right knee. Maybe walking the fingers to the outside of that right hip. Another breath in, lengthen, extend both arms out in front. And exhale, round and roll up, tucking the chin one vertebrae at a time. The chin be the last thing to lift. And sitting up nice and tall. Let's bring both feet out in front. We're going to bend the knees, and now we're going to create a diamond. So open the knees out to either side. Again, it's getting a little dark in here. So if your knees are way up, you can support them with the blocks. Or we're creating a diamond. So it's not a real tight one. We're not doing butterfly. We're going to come into star pose. So sit bones balanced, sitting up nice and tall. Hands to your shins, shoulders, elbows loose. Open up through the chest as we breathe in. On the exhale, start to come forward, leading with the chin and the chest. Staying here, lengthen the spine as we breathe in. And exhale, maybe a little bit deeper. And if you want to open up everything a little bit more, you can gently press those thighs open. If anything's too deep, remember not to do it. Lengthen the spine as we breathe in. On the exhale, now coming forward, so our forearms come in front of our shins. Remember, those bottom of our feet are connected. Now lengthen the spine as we breathe in, coming forward, interlocking the fingers and cradling them over the tops of our toes as we come a little deeper into star pose. As we feel the center of our being opening up, we look like a star from above. We're going to stay here, feel this deeper opening. Just breathe in that light that's shining above us, connecting with the light within us. And on the exhale, sending it through our roots, connecting with the light of each one of us here. Letting that light shine through the whole universe, all around the world, shedding light everywhere, with everyone. Extend the arms, lengthen the spine. Now round and roll up, tucking the chin one vertebrae at a time. The chin be the last thing to lift. And let's just cross our legs. So sit up tall. If crossing your legs bothers your knees or anything, you can extend the legs out in front or create that diamond again. We're just going to do a little seated spinal twist, nothing too intense. So just basic twist here. And again, if you have any back issues, don't go so deep. If something bothers you, remember to come out of it. Bring your right hand to the right side of the mat. Just going to sweep that left arm up, reach up, lift and lengthen, and then gently turn at a diagonal towards the right, towards that right knee. Bring your left hand to the outside of that right thigh. Now you want to keep the spine long, so lift the chest, lengthen the spine as we breathe in. And on the exhale, you can stay here, you can come out of it, or you can turn towards that right wall. Just go in a little bit deeper. And then gently unwinding. Just cross the legs the other way, just so we're even. Sit up tall, sit bones balanced. Left hand to the left side. Sweep that right arm up, reach up, lift and lengthen. On the exhale, just a quarter of a turn at a diagonal towards that left knee. Bring the right hand to the outside of the left thigh. Lift the chest, lengthen the spine as we breathe in. On the exhale, you can come out of it, stay where you are, or gently turn towards that left wall. Another breath in, gently unwinding. Let's bring the feet out in front. And we're going to come into a V-sit. So, that means we are like a V. We're on our sit bones, knees out in front. We're going to do a little seated boat, a little balance. First, we're going to keep the feet down. And we're going to extend the arms. And we're going to add to this. If you have any restrictions and you don't want to do arm windmills, that's fine. You can stay right here. Or sweep the arms up and around and exhale down. Breathing in, up and around, and exhale down. Breathing in, up and around, and exhale down. Now, we're going to reverse the direction. You can do it with the feet there or with the feet lifted. Core is engaged. Breathing in from back to front, up and around, and down. Breathing in, up and around, and down. And one more time, up and around and down. Let's reach out in front. Hold this here. Receive a breath. Now, without touching the floor, bring the legs in. Wrap your arms around your shins. Give yourselves a nice big hug. And then gently bring the feet back down. And stay in this V-sit. We're going to come down to the mat. Hands to the shins, open up to the chest. As we breathe in, on the exhale, we're going to round and roll back, one vertebrae at a time, walking down the back of the legs, coming the whole way down to the mat, nice and slow. I'll do it sideways. Nice, and keep a block nearby if you have one. Nice and slow. One vertebrae at a time. Keep your gaze into the belly till you come the whole way down. So, knees stay bent, arms down along your sides. We're going to do some pelvic tilts. And let's breathe in as we gently tilt the tailbone down, creating that arch underneath our back. Knees hip width apart. Exhale as we tip the tailbone up. Pull the belly into the spine, spine to the mat. Breathing in as we tip it down. Exhale as we gently tip it up. Breathing in as we tip it down. And exhale as we tip it up. And bringing it back to neutral. Stay here. Pull the belly into the spine. Keep the core engaged. We're going to be doing some isolation here with our shoulders. So as the core is engaged, we don't use our back. Palms facing down. We're going to sweep the arms up. And behind with the palms facing up, keep that core engaged as we bring the arms up. Exhaling, palms facing down. Two more. Breathing in, sweeping the arms up. And overhead, no wider than shoulders. With the part, exhale, sweeping them down. Keep that core engaged one more time. Breathing in, more effectively working the shoulders. As we don't use the back, exhale as we come back down. Let everything release. And when we let everything release, just let those palms open up for that lower back release, for the hips open up, and the knees release. We're going to do some bridge work. So, if you have a block, wherever your knees are hip width apart, we're going to put the block in between the knees. If you don't have a block, pretend like you do. We don't want the knees opening up, okay? Now, you can roll the shoulders underneath a little bit. You can pull the legs back a little bit more, or the feet back a little bit more. Breathing in, pelvic tilt, lift the hips, lift the spine, lift the chest. Using that upper body to anchor you. Exhale as we come back down nice and slow, one vertebrae at a time, till we gently release to the mat. Breathing in, lifting hips, spine, and the chest. Each time maybe a little bit deeper. Remember not to drop the knees open. Exhale as we gently come back down nice and slow, one vertebrae at a time. Let's do a couple more of these. Breathing in, pelvic tilt, lifting the hips, the spine, and the chest. Exhale as we gently come back down, nice and slow, and release. We're going to deepen it, so if you want to bring the feet back or adjust the shoulders, go ahead. Breathing in, pelvic tilt, lifting the hips, the spine, and the chest. We're going to stay here. Keep the breath going. Interlock the fingers underneath the tailbone. Use your arms as a brace, bringing the hips up a little bit higher. Receiving a breath. Now on the exhale, release the palms. Slowly come back down. Nice and slow, one vertebrae at a time. Gently release. Bring the knees in. Remove the block. Wrap your arms around your shins. Come into a little ball. Tucking the chin. Lifting the shoulders. Lifting the tailbone. As we breathe in, now bringing everything back to the mat with still holding the legs. So the tailbone comes down, the upper body comes down. Another breath. On the exhale, extend the right leg. Keep the arms around that and let that right leg drop to the mat. Keep the arms around that left shin. Gently pull it in a little bit deeper. And as you do that, you can't see my right toes. See if you can point those toes, opening up a little bit deeper. Let the right toes relax. Bring that left arm, wrap it around that left shin. And bring that right arm out to the side with the palm down from your shoulder. Receive a breath. And on the exhale, see if you can gently open that left knee out to the side just a little bit. Or at your own pace. If you can go a little wider, go ahead. It's okay if that right knee comes up and that right hip comes up. Maybe you want to point the toes of that right leg to open up a little bit deeper. And gently release that right leg. Bring that left knee back in. Hold this here. Rotate that left foot 3 times one way, 3 times the other way. And place that left foot down. Keeping that left knee bent, right leg's extended, point the toes, sweep that right leg up, walk the hands up behind the leg, gently pulling it back. Let's point and flex, and point, and flex, and point, and flex. Lift and lengthen. And on the exhale, maybe bringing it back a little bit deeper, not overstretching. Then bring that leg across the top of that left thigh. We're going to come into thread the needle. If you want to open the hip a little bit more, you can gently press that right knee forward. If that's too much, then don't do it. Release that right knee, receive a breath. On the exhale, lift upper and lower body. Bring your right arm in between your legs, interlock your fingers behind your left hamstring, and come into a little ball, maybe. Bringing the shin to the chin as we lift the shoulders and the lower body. There's the hips. Receive a breath. Hold on to the legs as we lower the hips, lower the upper body, and then pull the legs in towards us. Feel that deeper hamstring. Release the hands, keep the legs here. Bring both hands to the outside of that right knee as we breathe in. On the exhale, gently bring it over across that chest, giving ourselves a hug. Feel that deeper stretch, that right side. Any sciatic issues to those glutes. And then unwinding. Bring that right foot down. Bring that left foot, or bring that left foot down, bring that right foot down. Now let's extend that left leg. Receive a breath. We're going to pull the right knee into our chest. The other side now. Wrap your arm around your shin. Give yourselves a nice hug. And if you want to go a little deeper, point the left toes. Let the left leg relax. Bring that left arm, or right arm, sorry, around that right shin. Bring the left arm out to the side from your shoulder with your palm down. Receive a breath on the exhale, gently opening this right knee out to the side. Go at your own pace. You don't need to open it deep. Receive a breath. If you want to go a little deeper, point the left toes. Feel this deeper opening through the hips. Again, it's okay if your knee lifts. And then relax the toes. Bring that right knee back in. Wrap your arm around your shin. Pull it in a little bit deeper. Rotate that right foot 3 times one way. 3 times the other way. And then bring that right foot down with the knee bent. Extend that left leg. Breathing in. Exhale as we gently pull it up and back. Not overstretching it. Walk the hands up behind the legs. Point and flex. And point. And flex. And point. And flex. Lift and lengthen on the exhale. Gently bringing it back a little bit deeper. Now bring that leg across the top of that right thigh. So it's just like the ankle and the heel are resting here. Receive a breath. If you want to open up a little bit deeper, gently press that left knee forward. Again, if that's too much, don't do it. Release that left knee. Receive a breath. Thread the needle. Lift upper and lower body. Left arm in between the legs. Interlock your fingers behind your right hamstring. And see if you can come into a little ball, bringing your shin towards your chin, lifting the hips and the upper body, the shoulders. Receive a breath. Holding onto the legs as you lower the hips and the shoulders back down to the mat, and gently pull the legs in towards you, feeling this deeper hamstring stretch. Bring both hands to the outside of that left knee as we breathe in. On the exhale, gently bring the knee over to the center of the chest, giving ourselves that nice hug. Gently bring that left foot down and that right foot down. Bottoms of the feet together, arms down at a slight angle, palms open up. We're going to do a double resting tree, bringing those knees out to either side, bottoms of the feet together, and then sweeping the arms up like a tree, like a V, reaching through those fingers. Reaching on the exhale, bring the shoulder blades into the mat and feel this release. Go the whole way down through the arms, through your branches, through your fingers. And you can place blocks underneath those thighs too. Receiving a breath. And on the exhale, bringing the knees back, bringing the arms down. We're going to bring the knees into tabletop. So tabletop means that they're at a right angle above our hips. We're going to do a basic spinal twist. Both arms out to either side from your shoulders with your palms down. Looking at the sky. Receive a breath. And on the exhale, gently bring the knees and legs over to the right as we turn our head and gaze over to the left. Now breathe in any tension you're holding on to, shoulders, spine, hips. And on the exhale, start to let it release, one bit at a time as we open those palms. Flowing the whole way down through the hips. Another breath in. This time the exhale is going to be twice as long as the inhale. In through the nose. And on the exhale, twice as long as we surrender to the mat. And engage the core, pelvic floor as we bring everything back to center, palms down. Other side. Receive a breath. And on the exhale, gently bring the knees and legs over to the left as we turn our head and gaze over to the right, keeping that left shoulder down, right shoulder down. Breathe in any tension you're holding on to, shoulders, spine, hips as we breathe in. And on the exhale, gently let everything release, open the palms. Flowing the whole way down, each vertebrae, the hips, whole way down. And this one, the exhale is going to be twice as long as the inhale. So if you breathe in for 3, out for 6, or in for 4, out for 8. In through the nose. And on that nice long exhale, feel yourself sinking into the earth, surrendering. And engage the core, palms down as we bring everything back to center. We're going to come into Shavasana. So we're going to extend our legs. So we have options. First, if you want to be in corpse pose. Extend the legs, heels together, let the feet naturally open to either side. Arms out at slight 45 degrees with the palms open. Closing the eyes. Start to feel that opening through the hips, through the heart, through the shoulders, in through the nose. Back of the throat, Ujjayi breath, in, out through the nose. If you want release for your lower back, you can bend the knees. If you have a block, you want more release, you can lift the hips. Bring the block underneath. This is so nice. It's like a sponge. And just feel all this tension release into the sponge, into the block. And then from there into the earth. To become that next compost for that next inhale. So, if you're in one of these positions, maybe stay there for three full breath cycles. And then adjust to where you want to be. Closing our eyes, connecting with the back of the throat, the Ujjayi breath. As we breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Feeling ourselves sinking into the earth. Feeling those roots growing and expanding. Connecting with each one of us here. letting all our stressors, our worries, our troubles, our doubts, and our fears gently float, just melt away, crumble away, breaking free. To that deeper opening and surrendering to the letting go, the releasing, as we free ourselves from any restrictions we place upon ourselves, letting go of the fear as we move forward openly with our hearts wide open, sending love out. As we also bring it all back in, nourishing ourselves, loving ourselves. Keeping our eyes closed, we can start wiggling our fingers and toes, moving our hands and feet, bringing awareness to our bodies, to this space, the sound of our breath, the beat of our heart, and the earth underneath us, supporting, connecting, nourishing, grounding, centering, balancing as we move forward on our journeys. Let's gently roll onto one side or the other for a calm day ahead, onto your right side as it opens up the left nostril, or for an active evening ahead, roll onto your left side as it opens up the right nostril, engaging with the feminine and masculine sides of the brain. Keep your eyes closed and let yourself be here for at least 3 full breath cycles, connecting with Mother Earth and each one of us here, breathing in and out together as one. Nourished and held and letting go. Gently with our eyes closed, slowly come back to seated, one hand at a time, one vertebrae at a time, in the flow, transitioning gently to a seated position where you're comfortable, sitting up nice and tall. We start to rub our palms together, creating that heat and warmth in between our palms. Once our palms are nice and warm, gently place them over our eyes, allowing our eyes to flutter open, getting used to the light as we lightly tap back and forth across our forehead, over to our temples, very lightly rubbing little circles. Open our mouth, let our jaw relax, our face relax, and our mind release as we gently let go and unwind and unfurl. Like a mental massage, easing our worries, melting them away, letting them dissolve. And lightly tapping across our eyebrows to these two little indents at the inside of each eyebrow, our sinus pressure points. Press in here, breathe in real deep through the nose. And on the exhale, tap lightly down the outside of the nose, across the tops of the cheekbones, back and forth. Lightly down the cheeks, down to the chin. Lightly down the throat, down to the breastbone where our thymus gland lies, our immunity balancer. Tapping here and rubbing little circles, boosting our immunity for the day. Activating our heart center, our immune center, our thymus gland. I'm going to stay here. And we're going to do 3 ahs, A-H, tones for the heart and our whole body. It also helps to strengthen the heart and the lungs. And it flows through all of our organs, cells, and glands. So don't be shy. Ah, like that. 3 times, 3 different tones. Whatever tone you like. Doesn't need to be my tone. First one, opening the heart. So let's receive a breath in together. The next one, sending that love out to each one of us here, into the world, into the planet, into the waters, into the atmosphere, into the trees and the rocks and the animals, every place, every person, wherever you want to direct it, sending love, not fear. Let's receive another breath. And last but not least, remembering to honor and nourish and love ourselves unconditionally, no matter what. Receiving the love, whatever else we need at this time, that we are going within, that we are here. This is also a time of reflection when we are slowing down our busy lives and maybe noticing where we want some adjustments or changes or things that are for us. We're always doing for others, so now's the time to do for ourselves. Let's love ourselves. Receive another breath. Let's bring our palms together, hands to heart center. I honor the place in you in which the whole universe dwells. I honor the place in you which is of love and truth and light and peace. When you are in that place in you and I'm in that place in me, we are one. Namaste. Thank you so much for being here. Remember, you can always do bits and pieces of things that you felt were beneficial throughout your day. Always remember to modify everything you do in your life so it's for your own good. Have a wonderful evening.